Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So we just got some pretty exciting news. The developers have just pushed out an email that they plan on exploring the idea of launching Neverwinter Classic. If you want to improve the chances of this happening, be sure to take the survey and respond that you'll be likely to play it. I'll leave a link in the video description to that survey. The game originally released on June 2013 for PC, with 2 and 3 years later on consoles. So it's been over 12 years now that Neverwinter has been online, getting continually updated with new expansions. We're currently on expansion 31.5. That is a lot of content. And the game itself has gone under a ton of different system reworks. I can't even tell you how many times the stats system has changed. And in Module 16, we got a massive shift with regards to powers and skills. This in particular is what excites me the most about Neverwinter Classic. There's a return to this original state. The gameplay I'm showing right here is from Silvery. She used to make a lot of content covering Neverwinter. I'll leave a link in the video description to her channel, but I personally didn't create content back before Module 16, and so I don't actually have any recordings. So excuse me if I showcase a little bit from some of your other videos. You can of course check out her channel for yourself and view all of those older videos. Now, as far as I can see, she only has them for about 7 years back, which is around Module 13. But nonetheless, you can see how the powers have changed up dramatically. We used to level up, get points, and then level up certain skills based on which ones we want to use. There was no such thing as specific paragons and then separating what skills those paragons can use. You simply had this expansive fate tree with basically 3 options that you could progress along based on where you put your points, all of which would synergize a bit with your abilities, allowing you to take on a certain role and optimize. And overall, it just wasn't as clear cut as it is right now. Currently, we have healer path, and that's very distinct. It's clearly set up and built as a healer. You cannot really play it any other way, and your class may have a second path, like Paladin here has then tank, and this is set up purely for tanking. So a big change what happened with Paladin was you went from a class that could basically do anything based on what abilities they chose and what feats they have, to Module 16 reworking it and putting it in a fixed state of you have to play tank or you have to play healer. Paladin actually went under some new changes with Module 15, and it was actually Silvery who motivated me first to switch and try out Paladin. So I ended up playing it, and then the whole Module 16 rework happened. I stuck with it, and until this day, it has been my main character. I started playing Neverwinter back in 2015. This was back when I'm still in high school. I didn't play a whole lot, I had to focus on my studies. I took a bit of a break. When I finished high school, I started playing a bit again, and I ended up starting making content on it. But that was back when Module 16 dropped, with my very first videos in Module 17 when Tower the Mad Mage released. So to me, this is pretty exciting. Let's have a look what they ask of this survey. Do you currently play Neverwinter? I still log in every few days, do a few activities, keep up with the updates. When did you stop playing Neverwinter? Not applicable, I still play. When did you first start playing Neverwinter? I guess between 2014, 2017. I initially started playing Rogue, and later on I picked up Cleric, stuck with that a bit longer until I finally switched over to Paladin, which I then pretty much stuck with for quite a while before branching out to Rogue. And then when Wizard got the rework, I jumped on that hype train. And yeah, since then, those have generally been my main 3 classes. What were the main reasons you stopped playing Neverwinter? Again, not applicable, I still play. But they have options like I switched to another game, found better alternatives, less time due to work, friends stopped playing, community too small, game not updated enough. I think they generally updated Neverwinter fairly often, at least versus other games even nowadays. Like having 3 big expansions per year is generally pretty good. They did slow down at one point and only did 2 expansions per year, but it's generally been 3. I felt there was nothing new to do, in-game costs too high, developers made changes that I did not agree with. Yeah, probably a lot of people would select this one if they were playing for quite a long time and have quit at this point, because yeah, the game did definitely make a lot of controversial changes, pretty big ones that impacted like how you were playing, especially going from module 15 to module 16. And then I can see how all those stat reworks would have been frustrating too. You could also select too many bugs, there have been quite a lot, and then worsening social dynamics, toxic behavior. I don't think it's been too bad in Neverwinter. Imagine a Neverwinter Classic version of the game returning to early design and the feel of the original release. If this were launched, how likely would you play it? Very likely. I would totally try it out. I want to see what those classes were like in their initial states. There were definitely some negative things with it, but I'm sure I'd have a lot of fun just checking it out. Probably a lot of you too, to feel like kind of a new game. And yeah, finally, question 5. If you answered very likely or somewhat likely, what excites you most about the idea of Neverwinter Classic? I think I'm happy enough with this reply. I'd be most excited getting back into playing the classes how they were originally designed, with all their unique powers and feats. Where again, we had a ton of different options, and you could mix and match the feats how you wanted based on the different kind of Paragon paths. Basically like D&D. It was a lot more true to 4th edition D&D. And I originally started playing Dungeons & Dragons as a teenager in 4th edition. And then Module 16 came around and that tried to reflect a bit better towards 5th edition. But it couldn't really get away from its 4th edition roots because, yeah, even the naming, at-wills, encounters, deities, these are all strictly 4th edition. But yeah, I just miss the build diversity that it had before Module 16, where you had the options to choose from basically all the powers on your class and then choose between all the feats on your class, and it was up to you to mix and match. Sure, you could totally fall into some pits and end up creating an awful combination of powers and feats, but that was up to you to test out and experience. At least having that choice made it feel like it was a lot more diverse, that you had a lot more options. But yeah, that's enough said. Again, really excited that the devs are considering it. Be sure to leave a response for yourself on the survey. I guess the more people that say they would look forward to checking it out, the more likely they will go ahead with this plan. I'll leave a link in the video description to this survey and you can fill it out for yourself. I will just click done here. And that's it. You don't have to do anything more. Thank you for taking this survey. A special thank you to my channel members, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.